Have you ever noticed something strange? People will argue for hours just to avoid saying three simple words. Yeah, I was wrong. They'll defend a bad opinion like it's their childhood home. They'll bring up unrelated facts, change the topic, blame the weather, their mood, their past, their zodiac sign, anything except admitting they were wrong. And here's the funny part. Being wrong has never physically harmed anyone. No one has ever collapsed on the floor because they mispronounced a word or believed the wrong idea. So why does it feel so painful? Why do people fear being wrong more than being unhappy, lonely, or even stuck in a bad life? That's what we're uncovering today. And the real reason is way deeper and more uncomfortable than most people realize. Let's be honest, we've all done it. You argue with someone online, halfway through you realize, oh no, they're right. Your brain knows it, your heart knows it, your soul knows it. But your mouth? Your mouth says, well, actually, that's not what I meant. Suddenly, you're no longer defending the truth, you're defending yourself. And that's the key. People don't fear being wrong because they hate mistakes. They fear being wrong because of what it means about who they are. Let's break it down, slowly, simply, and honestly. 1. Being wrong feels like losing your identity. Most people don't just have opinions, they are their opinions. Political views, beliefs about success, ideas about relationships, even small things like music taste or diet choices. These ideas become part of their identity. So when someone challenges the belief, it doesn't feel like maybe this idea is wrong. It feels like maybe I am wrong. And for the human ego, that's terrifying. Imagine you've told everyone for years, money doesn't matter. Then one day, reality hits. Bills pile up, stress increases, freedom disappears. Admitting you were wrong doesn't just change your opinion, it rewrites your story. And rewriting your story means admitting you didn't fully understand life. Most people would rather stay comfortable in a lie than vulnerable in the truth. 2. The ego thinks being wrong equals being weak. Here's a secret the ego never tells you. It thinks everything is a competition. Winning arguments, looking smart, being respected. So when you're wrong, the ego translates that into, I lost. And in a world obsessed with strength, confidence, and dominance, losing feels unacceptable. That's why people double down on bad ideas. You show them evidence, they ignore it. You explain calmly, they get defensive. You stay polite, they get louder. Because the ego doesn't care about truth, it cares about survival. And to the ego, being wrong feels like death. Dramatic? Yes. True? Also yes. 3. Being wrong exposes how little we actually know. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Most people walk around with the illusion that they understand life. They think they know how the world works, how people are, what's right and wrong, what leads to happiness. Being wrong shatters that illusion. It forces a terrifying realization, if I was wrong about this, what else am I wrong about? That question opens a door most people are too afraid to walk through, because on the other side is uncertainty, and humans hate uncertainty. We prefer false certainty over honest confusion. That's why people cling to outdated beliefs even when they don't work anymore. At least the old belief feels familiar. 4. Shame, the real villain. Let's talk about shame, the quiet monster behind the scenes. From a young age, many of us were taught that being wrong is bad. Wrong answer? Embarrassing. Wrong behavior? Punished. Wrong opinion? Mocked. So our nervous system learned something early. Being wrong equals rejection. Even as adults, that fear stays. That's why someone correcting us can feel strangely personal, like an attack, like disrespect. Your body reacts before your logic does. Heart rate increases, muscles tense, defenses go up. You're not reacting to the mistake, you're reacting to the memory of shame. 5. Being wrong forces responsibility. Here's another reason people avoid it. Being wrong means you might have to change your habits, change your behavior, change your direction. and change is work. If I admit I was wrong about my unhealthy lifestyle, I might have to start exercising. If I admit I was wrong about a toxic relationship, I might have to walk away. If I admit I was wrong about my career path, I might have to face uncertainty. Staying wrong is easier. It lets you stay exactly where you are. 6. Social fear. What will people think? Let's not pretend this doesn't matter. People fear being wrong because they fear judgment. They imagine, they'll think I'm stupid, they'll lose respect for me, they'll never listen to me again. But here's the irony. Most people don't lose respect when you admit you're wrong. They lose respect when you clearly are wrong and refuse to admit it. Think about it. Who do you trust more? Someone who says, you know what, I was wrong, I learned something. Or someone who twists reality to protect their pride? Exactly. Admitting you're wrong actually signals confidence, but insecure people don't see that yet. 7. The funny part. Everyone is wrong all the time. Here's where it gets a little ridiculous. Every human being who has ever lived has been wrong about something. Science changes, knowledge evolves, new information appears. What was obvious truth 100 years ago is laughable today. So fearing being wrong is like fearing gravity. It's unavoidable. You will be wrong. I will be wrong. Everyone watching this has already been wrong today, probably about something small, like where they left their keys. Yet we treat being wrong like a personal failure instead of a natural part of thinking. 8. Why smart people sometimes fear being wrong even more. Here's a twist. Highly intelligent people often struggle more with being wrong. Why? Because their self-worth is often tied to being the smart one. So when they're wrong, it hits harder. It's not just a mistake, it's a threat to their identity. That's why some intelligent people become defensive, sarcastic, or dismissive when challenged. Not because they're dumb, but because their intelligence became their armor, and admitting they're wrong feels like taking it off in public. 9. What happens when you stop fearing being wrong? Now, here's the good part. When you stop fearing being wrong, something powerful happens. You become more curious, more flexible, less reactive, more confident. You stop arguing to win, you start listening to understand. You don't collapse when corrected, you grow. And ironically, people respect you more, because confidence isn't about always being right, it's about not being afraid to learn. 10. A simple mental shift that changes everything. Next time you realize you're wrong, try this. Instead of thinking, I failed, think, I just upgraded my understanding. That's it. Being wrong isn't a loss, it's an update, like software, old version to new version. No drama required. So the real reason people fear being wrong isn't logic, it's ego, it's shame, it's identity. Being wrong threatens who we think we are, but the truth most people never hear is the strongest minds aren't the ones who avoid being wrong, they're the ones who aren't afraid of it. If this video made you reflect, even a little, then it did its job. So here's a simple challenge. The next time you're wrong, notice the discomfort, smile at it, and let it pass. That's growth happening in real time. If you enjoyed this, hit like, it helps more than you think. Subscribe if you enjoy ideas that make you think deeper about yourself and society. And tell me in the comments, when was the last time you admitted you were wrong, and what did it teach you? Thanks for listening.